when Joss Stone joins us on Zoom from Belgium, where she's preparing to perform. She looks fresh-faced, perfectly blow-dried and pretty as a picture in a floral summer dress. Belgium is in the grip of a heatwave, but looking at Joss, you wouldn't know. Nor would you guess she's in the third trimester of a pregnancy, until she angles the camera down and shows off her bump. The 35-year-old and partner Cody DeLuise already share daughter Violet, who was born in January 2021, and Joss declares, "I'd like 7 children. I may only end up with 2, but I like to aim high. Aim high and you might get somewhere close enough. I started most conversations in previous relationships for the last 7 or 8 years with, 'Nice to meet you. I want 7 kids,' and then I'd wait to see whether they laughed or ran." Cody, though, he was like, "All I want is an adoptive beagle and an adoptive baby." I was like, "My God, I love you." I knew he was the one. And I told him I wanted 7 children and he didn't run a mile. Joss and Cody, a former Marine who works in logistics for Amazon, met in 2020, just before lockdown, in an airport in Belize. The Devon Barnes singer was aiming to tour every country in the world and had just returned from a gig in Antarctica. She was instantly attracted to Cody but was in the middle of a drawn-out breakup with her ex-boyfriend. By chance, the pair ended up in the same hotel. They chatted in the bar, and when Cody later messaged her on social media, she knew she needed to give it a go. Cody's a gentleman, a really lovely, normal, good human being, and it's quite magical how we got together, Joss says. We're still getting to know each other, but ultimately we want the same things, so it just works. I think that he nurtures the fairy tale need in me, he listens to me, and I love that, because I don't have many people in my life that do that. They all think I'm a bit of a ditz and I find that frustrating. If your partner is not really listening and if they don't care enough to, it's not going to work. They have already found out the sex of their new arrival, a baby boy, due in the autumn. And despite the heat both in Europe and back home in Nashville, where she's lived with Cody since 2020, Joss has been feeling well in the pregnancy. But she has had so much on her plate work-wise, she hasn't had time to think about preparing for the arrival. "I've been so manic making music, touring and recording a new series of my podcast, A Cup of Happy, that I haven't done a thing. But when these gigs are done, I'm going to go home and paint a mural for him and put his crib under it. I feel so lucky, but I still have moments of fear where I think, how will they get this thing out of me? I had a planned C-section with Violet, but I'm hoping to give birth naturally this time." Luckily for Joss, an expert on birth agreed to appear for a chat, birthing coach Siobhan Miller from the Positive Birth Company, who is an advocate of hypnobirthing. The podcast will also feature some big stars. We have Hollywood actor Matthew McConaughey on, Joss says. He is a very interesting guy. He is full of life but also enjoys the turmoil of life and acknowledges we need all of that stuff to have an enjoyable time on this planet. He grew up in a household with slightly crazy parents and has had a mad life, but he's managed to be positive and has great no-nonsense advice. Asked if she has found true happiness, Joss says, "I'm upbeat and make the best out of bad situations, but that doesn't mean I'm happy every day. It's impossible. But I try to set up my life so there's more chance it will be happier, and for me that means making others happy." And she adds that happiness is something she now feels on a daily basis, being a mother. It's the best thing, she says. At the moment, I'm writing songs for a musical of the novel The Time Traveler's Wife, and I told Cody about a lullaby I'd written for it called Don't Worry, My Child. I started writing it 14 years ago but didn't finish it. Cody was like, "You wrote a lullaby all those years ago?" But I was writing songs to my unborn children way before I met him. I've always wanted kids, I love them, they're so full of love and light. Joss knows that touring will get harder as her family grows. At the moment, everyone travels with her, but when the kids reach school age she and Cody plan to relocate to Devon for a more settled life. "I don't want to ever leave them. I know that's going to have to happen at some point because I have to work, but I'm not looking forward to that," says Joss. "I love it when I'm on stage, but I'd rather take my kids to school and pick them up. So I need to find a way to make the music fit into my life." Joss, who won The Masked Singer last year as Sausage, has also been busy recording a Christmas album, Merry Christmas, Love, and will be filming another cooking segment on Lorraine, after the first one aired earlier this year. And she reveals that at some point, work and parenthood permitting, she and Cody would like to get married. "I can't wait," Joss smiles. "And who knows, it might be next week. We might elope. Maybe we'll just pick a nice day and go for it." The third season of Joss's A Cuppa Happy is available on your favorite podcast platforms.